he said something really interesting there, because the question was, what misconceptions, what things do you want to dispel? JJ has obviously heard the noise. He's obviously heard the criticism, the jokes. I'm sure he's heard all of it, right? I'm sure his friends and other players have told him shit too. And, what we were talking about earlier, he's saying all the right things. You gotta love that response. He doesn't give a fuck. Because ultimately, as the coach, you can't. Right? I think we've seen too many times coaches give a fuck about everything. Whether it's what the media says, what upstairs says, what the player wants, what this person wants, rather than just following their gut. Or really trusting their process, right? He said he just wants to be a great coach and win championships. He could have said anything, but he said he wants to be a great coach. And call it like a prisoner of the moment situation for me. Call it meaningless. You could say that's what he's supposed to say, which is kind of what the theme of our theme today. But I love when people talk about wanting to be great or wanting to be the greatest. I love it. There's some people that say, oh, you're shooting too high, you're being too cocky, you're being overconfident. And I don't see it that way at all. I see it as someone who's really striving for something. Whether they get there or not, to me, doesn't matter. Because a person that genuinely strives for that, watch their journey and see how amazing their journey is. Fuck the end point. See how amazing their journey is. I've always loved it when players say they want to be one of the greatest players ever. They want to be a great, because in order to be that, you have to put the work in. Because you said it. You said it for everyone to hear. So now that's what we judge you off of. And maybe this is one of those situations. JJ was a player, a super competitive person. And it seems like he's carrying that into coaching, which is great. He wants to maximize his players. He wants to win championships. And obviously, we're not going to get too ahead of ourselves, but those are the things that you want to hear out of your coach. Those are the things you want them to say, you want them to feel and express. Because at the end of the day, you don't want a motherfucker coming in talking about, hey, if we win or lose, who gives a fuck? You don't want that mentality either. So you'd rather have this person, and you could say, I'm judging you on whether you're great or not. And if you're not great, then we can move on. Because that's what you told me you were going to be. And I think that is fine. It establishes everything immediately. There is no ifs, ands, or buts.